Okay.
All right.
A lot going on.
Yes, and it's not over yet.
No.
We've been telling you about, of course, the most damage has been in Barnsdall tonight, where a very powerful tornado has hit. But now we have our reporters live in Bartlesville, where they also took a hit to the Hampton Inn. That's off of Highway 75, just south of Tuxedo Boulevard. So Highway 75 in Kentucky.
Let's go ahead and go to Fox 23's John Acebus. I believe we have him live. Definitely a scene behind you there, John. What do you know? What have you learned?
So I literally just pulled up here. I'm just south of the Hampton Inn. We just dropped the tripod sticks, but what you're looking at is some pretty heavy damage. So this right here, what we're looking at is not the hotel. It looks like it's called the Gons Mall. Again, that's just off Highway 75. It looks like there's another couple of businesses that are difficult to read, but look at that. What appears to be roof damage, just ripped off of some business, whether it's the Gons Mall or the business next to it. North of that is the Hampton Inn. We've heard multiple reports that it got a direct hit, and what you're looking at around that is a large first responder presence. As we were pulling in here, there were multiple units flying north on Highway 75 to get to that point. We're just going to stop short of that, because beyond this, it's a little bit hard to walk, and we don't want to put ourselves in a bad spot. But this is just some of the damage that we're seeing. As we were walking up here, I spoke with Captain Ward with the Bartlesville Police Department. He says they are responding to some injuries. Not sure how severe those are. No reports of fatalities right now, but literally, as really the dust is settling, they're going door to door throughout neighborhoods, making sure that people are okay. But earlier I told you that a lot of the damage was south and southwest of downtown. Now I'm getting reports from the police department that most of this damage is northeast and in areas like this at the Hampton Inn. But this is just some of that damage. South of here, there's a church. I think it was Highland Park Baptist Church. Their entire steeple came off of the church. Wouldn't be able to see it from here, but as far as I can see, almost 2 miles if we can flip this way to show where they're going. You can see police lights well over a mile down the road. That intersection way down there is crossing over Southeast Washington Boulevard. I think that's what it is. If I were to take a right at the far end of that, you would run into the hospital, which would have been Ascension St. John. But everywhere you look in Bartlesville, it looks like police are heading in all different directions. Right now, I can just tell you the Hampton Inn took a direct hit, but we're so fresh into here, we're trying to figure out all of the damage. And I think, honestly, police are too, because when I was speaking with Captain Ward, he was like, look, man, we're hopping around everywhere, but this is what we're seeing at this point.
All right,
Okay, John. Yeah, definitely seeing the stop sign like laying over, and then the church and the stuff he's seeing. Scary situation there. I know our focus has been on Barnsdall tonight, but it looks like parts of Bartlesville took a pretty good hit as well.
Right, and you and I are sitting here looking on the map. We're seeing the Hampton Inn and that Gons Mall and then the church. So it's just like a 2-block stretch there. But then you see first responders, it appeared, going south back toward that church and perhaps toward the hospital. You know, obviously we just hope everyone is okay in this situation in Bartlesville as well as in Barnsdall. You know, we've been talking about search and rescue efforts in both places. I believe we have Fox 23's Devin Lyon also available to report live in Bartlesville.
Do we have Devin?
All right, guys, I'm right here in Bartlesville. I'm actually in the parking lot at the Hampton Inn that was hit by the tornado. The inn is still up and standing, but there is parts of the walls on the inside the inner hallway that are caved in. Now, for the last 30 minutes or so, I've been seeing the Bartlesville Fire Department and Washington County Emergency Management help people out of the hotel. They're putting them into Bartlesville public school buses. I believe they're taking them to the Hilton, which is on the other side of downtown Bartlesville. I spoke with them just a second ago, and they are just too busy trying to get everyone out of this hotel. There is massive pieces of metal roofing, I believe, from the building just west of it that have fallen into the parking lot, and they had to clear that out of in front of the entrance before they could start getting people out. I spoke with just a minute ago about a family who is in the U.S. from Brazil just for 2 days. And this is their first night in the U.S. And they're experiencing a tornado in Bartlesville. And so I've been staying right next to Bartlesville Fire Department. They were going to talk to me soon. As soon as they get everybody cleared out of the hotel, They have most of these roads roped off around the QT right next door to it as well. That suffered some damage. I've seen some car damage. There's trash cans thrown around. I've seen power lines completely snapped in half. There's a ton of police lights while I'm still seeing lightning in the distance over here. It looks like they've gotten everybody out of the Hampton. I didn't hear any reports of anybody being hurt. Everybody was walking out with their suitcases, calling their families. That is all I know for right now. I'm working on finding more from Bartlesville Fire Department. I'm just waiting for them to get everybody into these buses so they can transport them safely. I'll have more info for you guys real soon.
Okay, can we ask you a real quick question, Devin, before you go? I think we're seeing some video earlier that you shot at the Hampton Inn. Can you just, again, go through that damage? We weren't seeing it earlier when you were describing it, so now that we're seeing it, can you take us through just that damage one more time?
Yeah, so when we pulled up right off Highway 75, we went to the Hampton Inn, and we just saw a whole metal rooftop in front of the inn. And then as I walked up, they were trying to escort people outside of the hotel towards the buses. There's just trees littered. There's power lines down. There's the fire department trucks just all across the road, trying to keep people safe from those down power lines. They're trying to move that metal roofing out of the parking lot, out of people's way so they could transport them out. It's just littered with roofing and trash cans and glass. And so they had to clear the path before they could get all these families safely out.
Yeah, Devin, stay safe out there. I think we actually have John kind of in the same area as you now, so you guys will be able to meet up and kind of, figure out what you need to do next. But we really appreciate you being out there. We know you've already worked a shift earlier today, so we appreciate you getting back out and going back out there to bring us these reports.
Yeah, from Bartlesville, let's go back now to Barnsdall, the area hit before that same tornado made its way up to Bartlesville. And in Barnsdall, when Tulsa's chief meteorologist James Adelot was tracking that storm, he said debris was lofted 20,000 feet.
Unbelievable.
Yes, he and Mike Grogan were both saying that this showing signs that this could be an EF4 tornado. We also talked to our storm tracker, who's a firefighter, Brandon Hubbard, who was taking part in the search and rescue operations. But we have some reporters there as well.
We do have reporters there. I believe we're going to go to Fox 23's Paris Rain now. She is in the Barnsdall area. Earlier, she could not even get into town. Do we have Paris's shot? Paris? Can you hear us, Paris?
Hey, you guys. Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I can hear you. You got me?
We got you.
Can you hear me, you guys? Perfect. I'm still here. We are still blocked out of traffic. As you can see, police officers are just to the left of me, and these vehicles that are going just behind them are emergency vehicles. I see some electricity and sheriffs as well, but anybody that's trying to get into Highway 123, they're not letting them in. They're saying it's a little too dangerous to go in, as far as people who are going to help residents or family that are still there after being hit by the storm. And they're saying that with the gas leaks and the power lines down and that smell of gas that Rick was talking about earlier, it's just a little too dangerous and a little too dark out there for them to go in. Many people were turned around who were trying to go that way, and so they have had to go back down Highway 11. So we're still here. I'll work on getting sound.
I think we've got,
OHP
Paris, we've got another tornado warning. I'm so sorry to cut you off, so let's go ahead and get back over to James and Mike.